It's time for not a sketchbook tour, but a bit of a tour of my art. I was doing a lino print from a picture I'd done a long time ago, and so I thought I'd try and get some elements from that picture. I'll show you the picture at another time, but today I want to focus on these cartoony things. I live in a famous town which is very famous for the Battle of Hastings, and so 1066 is the date that was commemorating the day we lost the war to the French, although we celebrate it every year with great joy how we lost, but even so. So I have named my cartoon 1066 Seagulls of Hastings, and because the seagulls are just so awful and so naughty, I thought I would focus on these, and I've done a whole series of drawings and cartoons of them, and just all the different things that they get up to. And so here, this Cliff White and the 7 gulls, and I try to get sort of different characters, 7 characters there, but I think my main character is Silas the seagull. And so this is my nonsense dictionary. Gullible. Dietary requirements for seagulls. Gullible. Gull e-bill. A legal document, digital, holding seagulls accountable for debts owed to mankind. So that's the kind of feel for it. And I actually had these rejected by the local newspaper. I did submit them for... They didn't have any cartoon in the local newspaper, and they rejected them. And so I took to this, and I said, you know, there are 2 reasons why nobody buys this newspaper anymore. 1, the internet, and 2, no cartoons, just saying. And that was my kickback for them. And this one, did you know that seagulls don't exist? No. Correct, there is no such thing as a seagull, and it's true. They're not called seagulls, they're called gulls, and we've just called them seagulls. And they splat their poo all over everybody and every car, especially black cars. So I sort of took note of that. We do have a nudist beach, although I've never seen it. I know it's just up the road. And so I chose this for Silas. He went to see the nudist beach, was totally shocked, and the elders were trying to protect him. This one was about social distancing, a reflection of what happened during COVID. Now, seagulls are known to snatch food from people, and so I wanted to reflect that here. And they took all the fish, so it's just chips today. Oh, here's a bigger one of that nudist beach. I did another one. Actually, that's a better one, I think. I think that one's better than the... Yeah, if I compare the 2, I think this one's better, because you've got a ship in the background, and his face is totally shocked, and the elder's sweating there. So I play around with these things. And here's another one. The seagulls leave the yacht alone. They leave the liner alone and the jet ski. But when there's a fishing boat, you'll see the seagulls crowding round. And also, being a seaside town, we get a lot of tourists, and we have a lot of foreign students, actually, that learn English here. And so I thought I'd pick up on that and have an Egyptian one and a Mexican one, and Silas is saying, oh, the tourists are here again. And here's one of the elders saying, I'm concerned about Silas. He's hanging out with the wrong crowd because he's with the starlings. So, yeah. Oh, and here's a colour. I did a coloured in one of the tourists. Just playing around, really, with it. I wanted to see if I could commercialise some of this as well. And this is a very typical thing that happens here. I thought I'd do one with Silas getting drunk drinking somebody's beer and then passing out a bit later. And this one, beware of the dog, but the dog is so friendly. And then there's a seagull, beware of the seagulls. And we have a local gallery. It's not called the Jerwood anymore. I think it's called Contemporary, Hastings Contemporary. And Quentin Blake sometimes has exhibitions at our local gallery. And so I thought I would, I haven't changed the name of it, but I thought I'd do a Jackson Pollock, his masterpiece, here. Of course, winters here are very cold. And so I thought I'd do Silas freezing there, but he's got a hot water bottle. And there's a coloured one of the fishing boat. The other thing seagulls do is they attack our rubbish. If the rubbish doesn't get in the bins and it's only in a black sack, they tear them open and cause havoc and leave a mess everywhere. So I thought I would just do a picture of Silas wandering through all his booty. And this is the anatomy of a seagull. So he's got landing gears, feet, ammunition comes out there, musical instruments because they do that on people's roofs, fuel bank, cargo, radar, siren, transportation. So that's my seagull. I'm sure it's correct anatomically. And seagulls, and they fight over their food. They do get into some fisticuffs over the food. And here's a seagull following somebody. The person stops, he looks up, then turns around, so he flies away. And we have a local mayor who sings, "Oh yay," or he shouts, "Oh yay, oh yay," and tells everybody what's going on. And it's all very traditional, and they wear traditional clothes. So he was unveiling a statue, and as he did, seagull, because they are everywhere. Silas eating a curry and then regretting it afterwards. And we've also got some pretty posh golf clubs around about. Hastings is not posh, but the surrounding villages are posh. So here's Silas has ventured into the villages, and there's the golf course, and he gets struck by the golf ball and gets a hole in one. Well done, Silas. And I thought I'd take some quotes from the movies. Let the chips fall where they may. And so that was the thinking behind this. We've seen this one before. And from the movie Look Who's Talking, I thought Look Who's Squawking, because they do. About 4 in the morning, in the summertime, they wake people up, you know, with their noise. And then there's Cirque-on-Sea, so there's seagulls doing a performance with apple cores there. Then I thought about Oliver Twist, so when I called him Gulliver Twist, "Please, sir, I want some more," which kind of fits very aptly with the nature of our seagulls. And then for this one, Silas is looking and he sees the ants all marching in line, all in order. Then he sees some ducks, they're all marching in order. And then he turns round and sees the seagulls in disarray and just goes sigh. So that's my cartoons about Hastings. And then I'm really into bees, and I've written books about bees. And there's a whole adventure. I've written scripts about bees as well. And this picture was like a poster picture for the movie Burner Beatrix, the script I've written. And this was how it all began. There was a forest fire. She was taken out of her hive and put into another hive, which wasn't a bumblebee hive, but a honeybee hive, and that's where it started. But her mother was the queen bee, and her mother left her with her pearls and thought she'd come back, but the mother actually died in the fire. So that was the beginning of that story. A bit sad, but it ends up very well in the end. and so she's got attitude. So I did her B attitude, and I took a liking to that because she's a winner. And there's another beatitude. She wins and helps and kicks out the bad stuff and brings in the good stuff. So that's my B, Burner Beatrix. And she kicked out bad attitude and made it B attitude. Well, here goes with two of my, this is nearly finished sketchbook, and this is a completed sketchbook. So we start with this one here. This is a Jackson's Studio sketchbook, and they've sold completely out. So let me just check that's, let me just see, yeah, that's good, that's good. It's such a good size, it's cheap, it's just brilliant. Art Hang Party, People at the Fair. I can't remember. I think I did this with Art Hang Party as well, or on a Saturday with Melissa and Debbie. Debbie Draws Funny. And it was a blue-footed booby, but because of the way he was walking, I thought it would be good to have him coming drunk out of a wine bar. Now, I'm not very good at florals, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to do them and do them and do them until I get it right. And I was quite pleased with this because I tend to overwork everything. So I thought this time I'm just going to be minimalist, and it was better than I thought really in the end. Art Hang Party. I always cheat though. I go back and finish off. We have, you know, a short time, and then I go back and I polish it up a bit. This was Sketchbook School, Draw With Me, Picnic. Art Hang Party, People at the Fair. I choose random pages, so you'll have to forgive me. There's never anything together. And I think I visited some old Art Hang Parties that I hadn't been on. And there was these teapots. I only did a few, but I really like that page. And the florals, I'm really proud of myself. And this was Scribble Brigade. I was absolutely useless at this. It was the blurred guess and then the revealed image, and well, my guesses were not very good. That one wasn't too bad, but the rest were like, how did that become that? And this was with Sketchbook School, crabs, mud crab, horseshoe crab and king crab, hermit crab and spider crab. And this was Art Hang Party, Vintage Beauty. Again, I went back and polished it up a bit. It was a bit not to my liking, so I went back and did it again. Now this is I did this plein air. I did it in a small sketchbook, and then I worked from that sketchbook and did it big on here. And this is the gardens that are just a few meters away from where I live, really, at the back there, with the lovely fish pond with great big giant goldfish. And yeah, so I was pleased with that. Art Hang Party bugs. I'm okay with most bugs, but give me a butterfly. And I thought butterflies would be easy, but you know, they're not. For me, they're not. And this was Art Hang Party, or was it a Saturday one again? And quite pleased with these drawings, just with pen and ink. And this was Sketchbook School. It was The Wizard of Oz, and I just chose elements, like just took an element of Tin Man and the lion and the Yellow Brick Road and the shoes and the scarecrow, just some elements there. Now then, I loved doing this. I love the build. That was when I first came onto Art Hang Party. We did Build a Cafe, and that was my first introduction, and I absolutely loved it. And I really love doing this as well, and I particularly like these two ladies here because I can imagine them saying, oh, you know, what do they think they're up to? I know what's going to happen with them tonight. You can imagine their conversation, and her hand on her hip and nosy there, being nosy. So I was this woman popping another bottle. It's just sort of a lot of fun in these. And it continues. I wish I'd done, I might go back and do those again, because they were like some grumpy people sitting on the sofa not enjoying the party, and I didn't quite capture that really. So I might go back and do that. Oh, I did these pages. I always think, oh, I'll do something just out of my head. And do you know what? I hate it. I don't like it at all. Butterflies. Dun da da. I did better just with one colour. This I like. But the rest, not so much. Not so much. Everybody did a good one of these. Everybody. This was Art Hang Party again. Everybody did really well. Odd Orange, that was Tools. And then Toronto, downtown Toronto. This was Melissa's pictures that we had as references. So did I do any more inside? No. And I had fun doing that. I did. And the Olympics. I did quite well on the timed drawings, but then I went back and polished it off again and just sort of owned it a bit more afterwards, which I love doing actually. I really love that with the fingers all splayed out. That was quite minimal. I really like that sort of loose. And some more of the Olympics there. With just, when I get tired, I tend to just get the pen and ink out and just don't bother with the colours anymore. 100 horses. I didn't do 100 in the end, but I did over 50, so I was quite proud of myself. And I quite like these actually. Sketchbook School, that was an old one that I went back to and did some leaves. Now leaves I find okay, but florals I find so difficult. And there's some more of the 100 horses. And Vintage Beauty with my non-dominant hand. So that ends that sketchbook. It's an A4 size there. And this one is really, it's really cheap. The paper's cheap, but I loved it. And I started off doing the characters from my screenplays and books. And these are the baddies. These are the hornets. And they're Asian murder hornets. And so I've made them look like sushi and Mount Fiji and sumo wrestlers and the boss. So they're kind of Chicago mafia cross Asian murder hornets. And then there's different characters that are in it. This is Gretel, one of my characters. And I was just working on the characters. And this is the antagonist. She's a bully, Micah. She's just a spoilt brat in the hive. So I did her from different angles, from above, you know, foreshortening, dancing, stretching. So I played around with her. And this is Ruby. Just did some of the characters here. Lulu. Phoebe. And the teacher, Bridget Bidet. She's a perfectionist. Bidet, not as in toilet bidet. Bidet. But I was trying to make it sound like Bridget Bardot. So there's a lot of play on words there. And Clara is the spelling bee. She's like the nerd in the hive. Then I did a challenge, Flamingaloon Day. It was supposed to be a balloon that looked like a flamingo, and so I thought I could do it being blown up. I was thinking of other bees as well, like the gardener, Denzel Digby, Eleanor Pigby. Again, I was just playing around with characters. Now then, this guy, I know him from the internet, but it was his nose. I wanted to draw his nose because he had a really strange shaped nose that I really liked. And this is swatching my Winsor & Newton Pro markers, which I don't like because they bleed through, and I don't like bleed through. I'm really sort of anal about things like that. Florals, yuck, terrible page, terrible, terrible, terrible. That was covering up the bleed through. That's my brother's girlfriend, and I tried to mimic her colours into a pattern here, tried to get a bit more abstract, and I like her hand and her hair, but her eyes were a bit odd, so I put glasses on her. Now this was Sketchbook School, and it was the bald guys. I was quite pleased with those. And this, I did a painting of this, and it's when the bully of the hive pretends to be helpful in the hive by doing the vacuuming, but she starts sucking up this. She's doing a jigsaw puzzle on the carpet, and she's sucking up the pieces and causing problems, but she's saying, well, I'm doing what I'm told. Right, Japanese shadow blacks. They're like in the Gansai range of colours. I haven't used them very much. And my multicoloured, rainbow coloured pencils. Mind you, I don't think I've got the best brand of these. As I've looked at other people, they seem to have a better deal with these. I'm not so... That one's okay, but the others are a bit sort of meh. And that was a challenge with Sketches and Scrubs on a Zoom meeting. And this building, it used to be just plain colour, and then suddenly, this is in my hometown, suddenly it was painted blue and white, and so I thought, above the Grumpy Cook Cafe, so I thought I'd do a picture of it. More swatching, Caran d'Ache Neocolor 2s, luminance pencils, Holbein acrylic gouache, gold, don't know if you can see it there. Sketchbook School, Draw With Me, puppets. And this was, is her name Oshu? She does a lot of patterns, and she had a challenge doing, she said she challenged us to draw tiger lilies in different ways, so I did these, which I'm quite pleased with. Then I went on and I did some screenshots of Laurel and Hardy when they're in the restaurant, when he gets the fit of laughter, and I just kept stopping and taking a screenshot, and I just wanted to get the different ways he was laughing and trying to capture the essence of the absolute hilarity in that restaurant. Scribble Brigade figure drawing. I was really pleased with these, really pleased, and I superimposed that over there and that one over there. I just sort of carried on drawing. Very happy with those, and that continued. Very happy with those. Scribble Brigade, I'm sure a lot of you recognise this exercise. Again, love it. I'm so glad I found Art Hang Party and Scribble Brigade. It's made me thinking differently about how I use materials and using all sorts of things and not being too precious about things. This was an art kickstart with Sketchbook School. It was a chicken, and I used gold paint, which was part of the challenge. More Scribble Brigade, and this was Art Hang Party lettering. Again, I didn't get it finished in the time, so I went back, and I still haven't finished this one because it was just colouring. And this is Art Hang Party pets. Simon, we can hear you drinking, Simon. And this was, I can't remember who did this, but I really loved this shop front, so I did it, and I really like that page. Very happy with that. More lettering from Art Hang Party. Birthday cakes. That was somebody submitted lots of pictures of their cakes from their, I think it's from their shop. I wish I'd used better colours though. The colours are a bit muted. Scribble Brigade, I just sort of mulched it all together, the animals. So it looks like the fox is looking at the duck, which in reality it was a separate picture. This was Kickstart with Draw With Me Sketchbook School, and it was a quote by Mary Lou Cook: creativity, invention, experimenting, growing, taking risks, breaking rules, making mistakes, having fun. Odd Orange, these were studies on sculptures, and I used my magic rainbow pencils. Now then, another thing I found difficult was building, so I just went onto Google and just took screenshots of different buildings, and they were all at different angles with different light hitting different areas, and I just pulled it all together to make it look like it was cohesive, when actually these are all different countries and different areas and different buildings, and the light source is coming from different places, but I just sort of mulched it together. Again, I really like that. More art hang party lettering. Cactus, I can't remember where I think that was the professor, the art professor. She did some cactus and I thought I'd have a go. More lettering. More lettering. More lettering. I like this page. Oh, that's so cute. And this, I love this because I did a picture of Debbie Draws Funny, and I did that with a rainbow pencil. And she's doing an odd thing that looks like she's about to sneeze. And then this lettering, I did this on this page and it looks like she's about to sneeze as well. So I just thought those two were like absolutely made for each other, those two pages. Again, I did that with the buildings, just got a load of buildings. And I put the light source, proportion and perspective will not make sense. Google Maps, pin drop and screen grab images. Voila, a new village. I really enjoyed doing that. This was just some thoughts I had. Build a party. This doing the, is it the limbo? Is that what it's called? He's getting some food from the fridge. Somebody there doing something by the food, blowing a thing. Blowing one of those things there, and these two dancing. Much fun. Not bad florals for me. Seagulls, well, that goes with my project of seagulls, my cartoons. This was Sketchbook School, Fruit Bowl, Still Life, which I thought was good. It's a shame I didn't do it from real life though. It was still a reference picture, and I need to do much more real life stuff as well. Another thing I'm not very good at is vehicles, so I thought I'd draw my first 3 cars. And this is far too long. It's got like a big nose when it should be sort of stopped there, but well, it worked out in the end. And I could even remember the number plate of this one. I couldn't remember the number plates for the others though. More flowers. Now this was art hang party, and I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed doing this one. It was same picture, different materials, and I don't know if we had different times for them. I didn't write down if we did, but I did enjoy doing those, and I don't think I cheated either by going back. Crab, poppies. I tried to do what Sophie McPike did. Hers 1,000,000 times better than mine. Oh, Shoe Challenge, that's the lady who does the patterns, and she asked us to do orchids, and I was really pleased with that one, and I got a lot of likes on my page for that one. And that was daisies. It was a bit meh. And this one was Bird of Paradise. It's the Shoe Challenge. 1 minute per colour, 5-minute challenge. Scribble Brigade was with Sophie McPike. I like it because I like the colours. Again, I tried this plant, didn't like it, still don't like it. And then I had my shopping delivered to me, so I thought I'd draw everything that I'd bought in that shop. what were these? Oh, Prismacolor Premiere. So I just swatched some of those, and I got more Prismacolors, and I got more Prismacolors, so I'm getting a good collection. I think this was Sketchbook School Salad. Quite like it. Art Hang Party Interiors. I like these actually. I do like these a lot. This was really good for me to do. I can't remember. I should write the timing. Live drawing with Deb and Melissa. Weird animals. Well, I thought they were... that was so weird. With the haircut that I drew the Beatles. To have the same sort of hairstyle as the canary. Chicken that looks like it's just got out of bed. And Vintage Beauty makeup again. Shoes on feet. I had to go back and tidy this up. I did okay, but I think I could do better. Now this was the Paralympic Gold, and I just used my Crayola cheap wax crayons, and then did what I had to do with the drawing, and then I just used, I think I used my Karataki, those dark colours, those shadow colours to do the wax resist for them, and I'm pleased with them actually. Oh, this was a guy that he's a comedian. I think he's in Denmark, and I don't find him that funny at the moment, but when he cut his hair, it was hilarious, and his hair just looks a complete mess, so I had to draw him. And then that's my cup. It's definitely my cup. And then some lettering with Danny Gregory. So I thought I'd do an alphabet and maybe use it continually. This was with Katie Moody. She did a session for us, and I really enjoyed doing that, and I really liked how it turned out. This was Art Hang Party Emotions. 2 minutes, 4 minutes. Now this was a picture, where did oh, it was a video, and I just stopped the video and did a screen grab. I just loved the vibrant colours and the shop, and just, she was like a dancing character in this area here, and I just loved it, so I thought I would draw it. And then I chose some vibrant colours I chose a palette, because I'm not one that sticks to palettes really, and I thought I'd choose a limited palette and do a something, and that's my something. Odd Orange Cats. I used rainbow pencils again. 5 minutes, 7 minutes, and oh, I don't know what that was. Can't remember doing that. I know it's gouache or something. My totally inaccurate study of bones, pelvis, spine and ribs. Very inaccurate. Candy with Sketchbook School. Downtown Toronto with Melissa. Scribble Brigade continued nearly a year later. I started off and didn't finish, so I thought I'd continue. And I used my fat pen with the Fude nib. And then I thought I'd do some negative space. And I said it's a bit Austin Powers. If you ask me, I can hear the music. And this is a British comedian called Jo Brand, and she's a character. And actually, she comes from here, from where I live, and she was probably in the same pub as me in my misspent youth when we were teenagers, but I didn't know her then, so I didn't know it was her. But she's now on the television, very famous. And I did some strawberries, very detailed, simplified and totally simplified. And that was Scribble Brigade with Sophie. Same reference, different styles. I haven't finished this challenge yet. back to the Paralympics. As I say, I'd get random pages and just do it. The wax resist. Art Hang Party Emotions, 4 minutes, 3 minutes. And I got my new pink paint stick. Gesture drawings of dogs, 2-minute sketches. Sketchbook School, Draw With Me, colouring book drawings. They're just odd things. Draw this in your style. A lot of people didn't like that, but I thought it was quite creative, really, because it says created with human, and it says intelligence. And then I did the Scribble Brigade logo. And then I thought I'd do little drawings in these little squares. And then I had Clara the spelling bee in my stories, nonsense dictionary, selfish, one who sells fish and then keeps all the money for himself. And this was that balloon challenge, and it was a gecko loon day. Don't like that very much. This was a Sketchbook School doing a fish underwater scene, but it was like build it. I put it all together. It wasn't actually like that, the picture, the reference. It was separate references, but I sort of mulched it together. And these were just ideas for the eyes for my characters. And that's the end of that book.